Hello and welcome to the Front Office Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Cameron. And as always, our show is sponsored by Tees and Trees Clothing. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. Hope everybody had a great weekend. A lot of sports to get to, a lot of updates. I'm going to try to do it quick. Try to keep these episodes about 10 to 15 minutes. But I have a few shout outs I want to do first. Biggest shout out is to the Ridgeview boys and girls track team. They showed up and showed out at the Diamond Hornet Invitational this weekend, this Saturday. Boys came in first place, girls came in third. I thought it was a great showing for the kids. My daughter ran the 1600 and the 3200, set a personal best in the 1600 and the 3200. So she had a great time, a great day. Really proud of her, me and her mom and her brother. It's just good. I never thought I would actually have a kid who ran track. I always thought basketball would be the more suitable option, but life always throws curveballs at you. So I'm having a good time learning the sport and starting to really kind of get understanding of how it works and scoring and things of that nature. So it's different, but big shout out to them. Also, a big shout out to Dawn Staley and the USC girls for finishing 2 years in a row undefeated regular season. That's amazing. Dawn is about a biggest impact on college sports program than any coach I can remember in history, men or women. Shout out to her. Shout out to the young ladies. It's too many to name. I'm not going to name them all, but as a team, man, they are tough. They are looking impressive, looking ready to bring home the championship back to Columbia again. Shout out to Don, man. Don, we need you at the front office. We almost interview ready. We're not big time or nothing like that, Don, but we are Columbia grown. So for sure, come holler at us at the front office podcast. All right. Let's get to the NBA, man. Big games this weekend. We had the Lakers and Nuggets on Saturday. Clippers and Wolves on Sunday. Warriors and the Celtics on Sunday, and Phoenix and the OKC Thunder. Oh, and Dallas played Philly. We're going to get into that Dallas game. Not a huge game, but we'll talk about the impact of that particular game. Let's start with the Lakers and the Nuggets. The Nuggets are who I thought they were. They are absolutely the best team in the West. The Lakers, I still think, are a threat, but they don't have enough to beat them. They don't do well with good guards. And when I say good guards, I mean like elite top 5 guards. Jamal Murray is absolutely a top 5 NBA player as far as at his position. I know he didn't make the All-Star team. I don't think he made it last year either. But he won a championship, man. It was playing against the teams that he plays against and playing with the guys that he plays with. I told you I just love Denver's brand of basketball. Like, excuse me, it's very pick and roll oriented, but when Jokic is out of the game, they move the ball well. The role players seem extremely comfortable with their role. They're not trying to do too much. Michael Porter Jr. is an absolute beast. He's definitely a bucket. I think he went 10 for 10. He's not going to always go 10 for 10, but you just got to kind of pick your poison with them. And I think the Lakers were in that position. LeBron James eclipsed 40,000 points. Never been done in NBA history. He's the only person to ever do that. I don't think in my lifetime I'm going to see somebody probably crack 40,000, but I have no doubt that it will be, just like Kareem's record was broken. But huge accomplishment. That's great. I love the way the Lakers did it. They didn't stop the game and make a big deal about it. They waited the commercial break, which is the way I thought it should be done. I mean, he's not really breaking a record. He's just hitting a number, which is a crazy number. I think that just shows the excellence of LeBron James and how long he's been great for the NBA. 21 years, consistency beats talent every single time. Every single time. Consistency is always being consistent at anything. I think most people will take a guy who can come in and be amazing for 2 or 3 years over, or they would take the guy who can be consistent for 10 years and not just have a big spurt of 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever years. Consistency is a thing, and I think he's a great role model for our kids. a great ambassador of the game, and we'll definitely miss LeBron while he's gone. But as far as them going up against the Nuggets, they have no chance right now. In a 7-game series, the Lakers can't beat them unless they figure out how to play that pick and roll. That pick and roll kills them every single time. And the Nuggets also out-rebounded the Lakers by 15 rebounds. That's a lot in an NBA game. Thinking that you have a LeBron James, you have an Anthony Davis, you have a lot of really really good players, and they are capable of rebounding. I think they're going to have to do more gang rebounding. I think the guards are going to have to get more involved. Rui had a great game. He shot the ball really well, but again, defensively, they put him on Jokic. It was kind of a little chess match. If you pay attention, they started the lineup, and they didn't put Anthony Davis on Jokic. They put Rui on him. And, they basically were saying, I think, let him get what he's going to get. We're going to stop everybody else, but you couldn't. Michael Porter Jr. went 10 for 10 from the field. I think he had 6 threes. That's crazy. He had a big game. Murray, just timely plays at the end. You know what I mean? Like, it's just hard to beat them. I got them as the best team in the West, even though they're, I think, number 3 in the standings. The team that is the number 1 team, the OKC Thunder, had a game against Phoenix. Really was a blowout for most of the game until Phoenix made a little run at the end. OKC, I think, is the best defensive team at the top right now. Like I said, they're young. They still gotta show me they can win in the playoffs. But I'm very impressed with OKC. I think Shai Alexander had another big game last night. I think like 35 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. He does everything for that team. Clear cut number 1. Definitely should be an MVP candidate. And it's a reason why he's in those conversations is because of games like that on the big stage. So they are great. Jalen Williams had a really good game. Phoenix, they didn't have Devin Booker. They've been missing one of those 3 guys the entire year. I think they've played maybe 10 games together. So I think that's going to hurt them come playoff time, man. But they're still a threat. Minnesota was going against the Clippers. Minnesota had a chance to win that game, and I thought Anthony Edwards had a chance to kind of impose his will towards the end. But, he's not a selfish player. They play team ball. Him and Cat seem to work well together. I don't have an issue with Cat except for the fact that I think he thinks he's a guard. Like, at the end of the day, bro, like, you have to play basketball. I get it. You can shoot threes. You're in a 3-point contest. You don't want a 3-point contest. We know you can shoot it. But when you have James Harden on you in the post with less than a minute left to go in the game and you're down 2, it's no reason for you to run out to the 3-point line to try to jack up a 3. Like, get the 2. Get the 2 points, bro. Like, it's easy. Basketball is supposed to be easy. It's about the most efficient way to score, whether it's 3-pointers or whether it's 2-pointers. And I know with the analytics, everybody's like, oh, we got to jack up 3s in order to keep up. They have a big team. They have a really big team as far as Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards is like 6'7". I think Mike Conley is the smallest guy on the team. So, why wouldn't you use that to your advantage? Because that's going to help you come playoff times when jacking up these 3s is not going to get it. I thought they missed the opportunity to take advantage of that, and that's why they fell down to the number 2 seed, which they're still in great shape. Minnesota is going to be a high seed. They're fine. But I would like to see Ant kind of maybe make that play at the end to try to win the game instead of deferring. And I don't think he deferred. He just never really got the ball. So I'm not sure if that's offense or how Finch is drawing it up. But it was a little disappointing. Nothing to, go crazy about. But it is what it is. They don't, again, I've said it before on the show, the brand of basketball they play is kind of a stand around, watch everybody else work and not really moving. And I think when you play like that and you play against these high-level teams like the Denver Nuggets or even OKC who can really defend, it's going to be a problem come playoff time. So we'll see if they fix that. The Dallas Mavericks lost to the Philadelphia 76ers. That was just a bad loss. You lost at home. They're missing Embiid. It's no reason for you to lose that game. I get it. You're not going to win every game. Luka had a triple-double. Luka's doing a lot more crying than I remember. I mean, he cries a lot. I know he cries a lot, but he cries a lot. And, I mean, he's a tough fucker. You know what I mean? Like, Luke, I mean, I don't think he's soft in any way, shape, or form, but let's just maybe cut back on the crying sometimes, Luka, if you can, bro. But I think Dallas is still a threat. They're teetering towards the bottom too, but they'll figure it out. They got some new pieces at the All-Star break. It's gonna take a little time, but it just takes time. The NBA is a long season. I think we got this month and next month, and then at the end of the month it'll be around playoff time. So the West is gonna be crazy. The East is, like I said before, Boston played Golden State, smacked them around real good on national TV, and it's not a big deal if you're a Golden State fan, and it's not a big deal if you're a Boston fan. They just happen to have it going. It's no excuse for getting beat by that much on TV. I don't think that's from a lack of effort. I just think you just didn't have it that day, and you ran up against a team that's motivated. Golden State beat them in the finals. They're motivated. Every time they see you, they want to crush you. That's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that Golden State's not a threat. Doesn't mean that Boston has already won a championship. It was just Boston's day. It was just Boston's day. They're clear-cut top. Jason Tatum is my personal MVP. I think he's the MVP. He plays on the best team. He's the best player on the team. He affects the game in every facet. Love Shai's game. I definitely think Jokic is the best player in the world. But if we're talking about MVP this year, I think it's Jason Tatum. That's my take on that. Also, that's really it for the NBA. But I did want to touch on Caitlin Clark. Big shout out to Caitlin Clark, who broke the NCAA Division I's record for most points ever, whether it's men or women. She's an amazing player. She deserves the hype. I think what she's doing for college basketball is great for women's college basketball and the WNBA. I think Dawn Staley and the USC Gamecocks have created a bit of a dynasty down here in Columbia, and I think that's great. It's a lot of great players. Juju Watkins, the young lady from Notre Dame. It's a lot of great women's college basketball players. I actually caught a little bit of First Take this morning, and Shannon Sharp made a point. He said, I can name you 5 women who play college basketball, but I can't name you 5 men. I would agree. I would agree. I watch a little college basketball here and there. I can name you a few players, and I know the teams, but I can name you 5 girls who play, and that's just where that star power is going, because they don't have a G League and they don't have overtime elite competing. A lot of these great players that will be playing college basketball right now, playing the G League or overtime elite. And I like that for the guys being able to go and get money. But now with the NIL deals, if I'm a high recruit, I'm not taking the overseas route or the G League or the overtime elite. I'm gonna go to Kansas and make $2 million, or I'm gonna go to USC and make $1.5 million, and I'm gonna get seen on TV. My name is gonna be out there. I'll get the proper promotion that I'm supposed to get. So I think that portion is kind of hurting the college men's basketball, but I think with the NIL, you'll start seeing those higher recruits go back to school. If they stay 1 year and go, if they stay 2 years and go, it's still great for college basketball. But the women's basketball in period is definitely growing. I love it. I'm definitely going to try to get my kids and my wife to a game this summer. Definitely want to see the Aces play. Definitely would love to see Aja Wilson play, whenever they come to play the Charlotte team. So probably be a high ticket, and that's good. Those ladies should be getting paid, and they should be getting taken care of just like the guys. But they have to get the revenue. So ladies, you can't complain if you're not watching like the guys like we watch the men's basketball. You have to plug in. You have to lock in and actually tune into the game that generates revenue so those girls can get paid more money. It is what it is. You have to become real fans. Like I said, you're going to have guy fans, and there's a lot of guys who watch women's basketball. I love watching women's college basketball right now. It's great. It's an amazing time for them, and they deserve every bit of promotion and credit that they're getting right now. So shout out to the ladies, man. One last thing, man. Shout out to my homeboy softball, Randy. It's a guy I grew up with, man. It's my brother, it's my guy, and he is really into women's college softball. He's a bettor. He's a gambler. But he's got the play-by-play announcers from UCF actually giving him a shout-out during the games. That's how deep he's into that. So, big shout-out to Randy, man, representing for the little guy, man. That's all I got on the episode. We'll be back with WTF Wednesdays on Wednesday. I am Marcus Cameron. I am your host. Front Office Podcast is the show. and the brand is Tees and Trees. We appreciate it. Thank you, subscribers. We appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you click subscribe, like, and share. All of it. I want you to do all of it because it don't cost you anything. All right? Appreciate you. Peace.